Hey yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Matthew Manley for MatthewManley.com. Well, as I said in my last video, which was the newest sneaker collection edition, the LeBron 9 Low Liverpools. Let me make sure you can see my nice weekend shirt. I was doing a poker recap video. A lot of you guys follow me on Facebook and Twitter, so hopefully you would have seen that I was out at Planet Hollywood playing some 1-2, and finally, after 17 straight losing sessions, after months upon months of 2 and 3 outers of just some of the silliest and worst poker luck, play, everything that I've ever had in my poker career, I finally had my first real breakthrough of the summer. And I mean, I've had a couple sessions here and there, $50 or $100, something like that, but this is the first time that I actually had a major cash. As you guys know, I haven't been playing much poker lately. My money's been pretty messed up. I've overspent a little bit on shoes, my bad. But I haven't really had the money to dedicate to it. So I was super excited when I was back in Arizona. I put together some loot. So I was really happy that I was going to be able to head out and play some cards. And, well, I want to give you guys a recap. So decided I was going to play Planet Hollywood. You know, that's my spot as far as I'm concerned. Always got good games, know all the dealers. Obviously know everybody at the Heart Bar, so it feels like my home base. So bought in, you know, as always, for $300 at the 1-2 game. And I mean, it seemed like a decent table. There was 2 people that I'd seen before, that I played with before, so I kind of knew who to steer clear of, who to play against, you know, whatever. Pretty quick on, I ended up, I picked up Ace Queen, raised it pre-flop, and got 2 callers. Raised it to 12 pre-flop, got 2 callers. Bet 21 out on the flop, got 1 caller, and the other guy folded. And then on the turn, the flop came up. See, it's been so long since I've done a poker recap, I don't even remember how to do them. The flop came up 7-5-4, so kind of a weird flop, but I'm figuring, you know, I can take the lead. There were 2 clubs and a diamond, if I'm not mistaken. And I had ace of spades and queen of hearts, so totally wasn't anywhere near that. But ended up on the turn, after getting called on the flop, turn card hit a 10. And again, it was checked to me, and again I fired. This time I fired 27, and the guy folded. So it was a nice little win, built me up a little bit, and you know, decent, got me up to like 360 or so. So it was, you know, it was decent, 380, somewhere, 360 I think. Yeah, 20, somewhere around there, like 260 I think. So it was pretty decent, you know, start, got me up a little bit, so I was about 360, you know, close to 4. Picked up another hand that actually got me really close to 4. I was at about 390 or so. Actually, it was with ace queen again. I raised pre-flop, got 2 callers, flopped an ace, and bet that out, and everybody folded. So it was pretty solid. I was, you know, able to pick up back-to-back pots, or not back-to-back pots, but both times that I was in with ace queen, it panned out for me. So that was solid. Ended up then picking up jack 10 on the button. This was an ugly hand. So a guy, I'm in the big line, Guy on the button raised, and ended up, I called. He raised to 12, I called, already had $2 in. Jack 10. Flop came up jack 10-8. Scary flop. Obviously it's nice to have top 2 pair, but you know, there's lots of things. Could be open-ended, could already have flopped a straight. There's some scary stuff there. So thankfully it was a rainbow, so it was one less thing to worry about. But I decided I was going to play this very passively, which in the long run I lost less than I could have. So I ended up simply checking on the flop. He bet, I believe, 20. I called. Turn card hit a blank, total blank. It was, I think, like a deuce or a tray, something that couldn't have affected anything. Again, I checked. Again, he bet, and I called. Okay. And this time on the flop, on the turn, I believe he bet like 26, 30, somewhere around there. All right. River card, another blank. Didn't complete any flushes, straights, anything like that. I want to say it was a 4, something like that. I mean, it wasn't a card that I was scared of. So I'm really feeling that either, he flopped a straight, or, I'm hoping he might have a hand like an ace-jack type of hand, or an ace-10 type of hand, and is assuming I'm on a straight draw and, didn't get there. So I decided, let's change it up a little bit and posture at this, because I'm feeling I got this hand. So I end up betting out 55, which at this point is, I want to say probably about half the pot, maybe a little bit more than that. And he instantly raises it up to, I think I bet 45 because he made it 100. And I thought about it for a little while, and two pair really isn't that great of a hand, but I still ended up making the call, and it turns out he had pocket eights. So he flopped a set to my two pair, and that's just one of those hands that honestly, like, what are you going to do about it? I mean, sure, could I have gotten away from it? It's just two pair. Yes, I probably could have. Was I disciplined enough to after not playing for a month? No, I was not. I was thinking of, building my stack up as opposed to being smart and whatever. So that one definitely hurt. And that one brought me back down to like, I dropped at least $1.50 in that hand. So that got me down to about 200 or so. Shit, hate that. I hate going below my starting stack. I just hate it. So ended up, I was kind of pissed about that, but I couldn't really be mad at anybody but myself, So I grind it back a little bit, taking my shots here and there, and be able to build back up to about 200. Then pick up a pretty solid hand with, I had, ace, no, it couldn't have been that. It couldn't have been queen 10. Oh, I had king queen, and the guy ended up having king 10. And the flop came up queen 10 blank. And I ended up betting it out the whole way down and got called all the way down. So that got me back up to about 300. Pretty solid. I was pretty happy about it. Then picked up another, I bet out 2 different times with total garbage hands. And then the hand that really picked it up pretty well was I had 5-6 suited. And I gotta explain, like, I would catch like 3 good hands in a row where I caught like ace queen, and like ace 10, though I lost with the ace 10. And then I would get 15 straight, jack deuces, jack trays, jack 5, jack 6. I kid you not, I saw a jack in my hand with a rag, meaning something under a 7, probably 30 times tonight. I would say at least 30 times. Only saw ace jack once, only saw co-jack twice, saw queen jack once, all 3 of which I lost. But I mean, it was, oh my god, it was bad. I mean, literally, it was almost comedic. I was like, oh, jack tray, okay. Well, what do you know, jack tray. I was getting some bad hands, but I pick up 6-5 on the button, and it's come around. It was actually straddled pot. Then it was popped by Under the Gun plus probably 4, or probably 2. No, I'm sorry, Under the Gun plus 2 made it 12. I ended up calling with 6-5 suited. I felt a little Daniel Negreanu-ish, I guess, and made the call. So the flop ends up coming up 5, 4, I want to say 7. So I've got the open ender with middle. No, I'm sorry, I didn't have the open ender. I had middle pair. It was like, I think it was like 10, 5, 4, we'll say, because I had 6-5. So I ended up betting at it. All right. I couldn't have been on the button then because I let out. I'm sorry. I had to have been in the small blind because I actually let out. I let out, and the guy who made it 12 called. All right. I'm assuming I might be behind, but I'm gonna take a shot at this. Turn card comes out a 7. So now I've got open ender on this, and feeling a lot better about it, obviously. So again, I lead out at it because now I've committed. I'm gonna put more money into this pot, and I would rather take the lead with the bet. Yeah, I'm running the risk of getting raised, but how based on him just calling on the flop made me feel that he wasn't in a raising type of mood. If you're gonna raise in that spot, if you have ace 10 with the board like that, you're probably gonna raise just to see where you're at. I would have. So ends up now I've got my open ender. River card hits a tray. Yeah, because I had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So beautiful, beautiful. I hit my straight. Beautiful. So again, I lead out. No, this time I actually checked to him. I checked to him, and he bets like 35. And I end up raising him plus another 55. And he thinks about it for a while, and then finally ends up calling, and I roll it over. And he didn't show what he had, but I'm sure he had me beat down to the river, but never raised me out of it. At either one of those streets, on the flop or the turn, I was a raise away from being out of that pot, honestly. I I was not banking on hitting the straight. Once I was able to take control on each street, cool. I was thinking I might be able still to bet him out of the pot. I didn't think my sixes were best, but I thought I might be able to bet him out of the pot in some way. But to let me simply get there, I'll take that. So ended up, that was a great pot for me. That built me back up to like 400, 4 whatever. All right, awesome. So I then pick up ace 9. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't ace 9, it was king 9. King 9, love that hand. Always have loved that hand. King 9 suited. Really love that hand. End up picking it up on the button. And so there had been 2 people that had called up to that point. I raised to 12. Okay. So flop comes up 9, 4 deuce, I believe. 2 hearts. Ugh. So ends up first person to act checks. Next guy makes it, he overbet it. I want to say he bet it to like 25, which, decent sized bet. So I ended up saying, you know what, let's find out where we're at right now. So I raised it plus another 50, so I made it 75. All of a sudden the guy who checked first place, he shoves, which it was only like another, I want to say like 75 at this point. So original guy, Mux, comes back to me. I think about it for a minute, and I put him on a flush draw. So I'm assuming he's probably got the over as well, so I'm probably drawn to drawn against an additional 3 outs, but still, the money was right, and honestly, I was pretty much 2-1 on my money. Less than that, honestly. It was like probably 3.5 to 1, 4 to 1 on my money, because he didn't have a full 75 more. So I ended up making the call, and sure enough, he's got ace 8 of hearts. So he's got the nut flush draw plus the additional 3 outs of the aces. Shitty. And on the river hits a heart. So that one really cracked me, and that one got to me a little bit, because it was another one of those moments where I made the right read, I made the right play, I made the right call based on money, and I just got unlucky. And I know, as Barry Green said, and as Phil Gordon said, as everybody said, if you got your money in good, that's all that matters. You can't control the poker aspect of it, but if the luck factor. If you got your money in good, that's the ticket to sound like I'm from the 50s. But I wasn't happy with that. I was definitely a little unhappy and a little perturbed, if you will. So I ended up getting up from the table, walking around for a little while, because I was just kind of, So that definitely, cooked my goose a tad. But it is what it is. Those are the type of hands that just happen. So again, that brings me back down to like 270 or so, maybe a little bit less than that. I might have been back to like 250-ish. So again, lose a few more hands, get all the way back down to about 2, work my way back up to about 250-ish, and as beautiful as it can be, on a straddled pot, pick up pocket kings, 1 off the button. So it's straddled. it's then raised to 12 by like guy two before me, one before me. I simply call because I know the guy who straddled, he was notorious for raising light on his straddle. Comes around to him, and sure enough, he raises it to 30. Beautiful. I thought about repopping it there, but I'm like, you know what? No, just keep it good. Just called. All right. The other guy also called. Scary. I know. I'm praying an ace doesn't hit. Whatever. Flop comes up. 6-4 deuce. Pretty damn good flop for kings. So the guy who initially raised, straddled, ends up betting into it for I want to say 25, maybe 35. I don't remember. Comes to me, the other guy who called folds comes to me. I just call. Okay, yeah, kind of weird, but I probably could have raised. I wasn't that scared. I wasn't really fearful of a set at that point. I didn't think he had aces. So turn card ends up hitting a 10. Okay, a little scarier. Could have pocket tens, a little scarier, whatever. He ends up betting again. This time he bets. What did he bet? He bet 45, I think, 40 or 45. Ended up calling, just calling. River card hits a 7 or an 8. Very innocuous card. Not something that was really connecting anything or was really, scary. And obviously no ace hit. Beautiful. So it ends up, again, he bets out, I want to say, no, he checks on this. He checked. And this is the same guy that I beat with the straight earlier. And he's been taking shots. He's been getting mad flusty. So he checks, comes to me. I end up betting 55, which, hindsight, I probably could have bet a little bit more. He thinks about it for a while, which each second longer that he takes to think about it, I know he doesn't have a set. So now I'm feeling great about it. Now I'm just hoping, he has a pocket pair, maybe of jacks or queens that I'm going to take that because I'm knowing he doesn't have a set. And I'm pretty positive he doesn't have aces the longer he thinks about it. Finally ends up calling, and sure enough, he has pocket jacks. So I roll over my kings, and he's dumbfounded by how I played him. And I admit, I was a little bit of a pussy. I probably could have bet more on the river, and I even said that. I played my kings like a pussy. I got scolded by the dealer, who hates that word, I guess. So that was a great pot for me. Built me back up to about 430. Great pot. Had a little bit of a lull. Picked up a few queen jack type of hands. Called 12 or 15 pre-flop. Didn't get anywhere. Same thing with king queen. Same thing with, actually made a pretty good laydown with ace queen. Ended up, it came to me, I raised it to 12 with ace queen. Then I was 2 off the button. Then went to the small blind who raised it to 35. And then the big blind who shoved. And I ended up letting it go, which was a great play by me because the other guy had ace king and the other had pocket queens. So pretty good laydown with ace queen. And I was proud of myself for it. Had another one with ace jack, which was the same kind of thing, except this time it was the one guy, it was so weird. The one guy shoved with ace queen. I'm sorry, with ace king. The other one called with pocket jacks, and the other guy called with 10-9. Ended up flopping a set. It was ridiculous. I'm sorry, no, flop the straight. At 10-9, flop came up jack 8-7. So the guy ends up, flopping set of jacks, but he was behind, and it didn't end up voting. So that was a crazy hand to say the least. Pretty soon after that, I'm dwindling a little bit. Get down to probably about 300. I'm right about 300. Pick up 10-9. And again, it was a straddled hand. I'm in the big blind with 10-9. Beautiful. Like that hand. I've always liked 10-9. Comes around. It was straddled and then raised. I call the 12. All right, cool. Flop comes up. Jack 9-9. I like that. I would have liked it more if it was 10.99, but I like that. So I check in the big blind. It checks all the way to the original straddler, who bets, I want to say 20. Comes back to me. I simply call. All right, cool. Next card up, my money card, 10 ball. So I've got the boat. It's not the nut boat, you know. I mean, it's possible that somebody has pocket tens, and it's possible that somebody has pocket jacks. But I'm feeling pretty good. So end up, maybe it was no, it was Jack. I'm sorry, it was Jack. It was Jack 9-9 for sure on the flop, and then the turn was a 10. Yeah, definitely, 100% sure. And there were also 3 hearts out there, or 2 hearts out there at this point. So I'm praying that somebody has a flush draw as well. So again, I check. Guy right next to me bets 30. Guy who straddled originally raises to 60. Comes back to me and I almost raised. I almost popped it. But I said, you know what? No, I'm just going to chill with it. And I just called because I figured if I pop it, the guy who made it 30 might not call. So I said we just call it 60. Other dude calls it 60 as well. Beautiful. This is what I'm hoping for. There's just 3 of us in the pot, and I'm feeling pretty solid about it. River card hits a queen. No, I'm sorry. River card hit an 8. River card hit an 8 because the guy ended up having. He said he turned it, so he had to have. He had to have had queen 8. Yeah, he had to have. He had to have had queen 8. Yeah. Yeah, he had to have had queen 8 because he said he turned the straight. So now I'm saying, you know what? I'm pretty sure I've got this. If he has pocket queens, I'm screwed. It is what it is, you know. I'm sorry, if he has pocket jacks, I'm screwed. It is what it is. Or maybe the flop was queen 9-9. I apologize. It was a big hand. My adrenaline was pumping like crazy. But regardless, at the end of it, I bet. I let out. And I said, you know what? Let's go for it. I let out for 55. It then got raised. The guy went over the top for, he pushed all in, but he only had like, I want to say he had like $1.50 in front of him. The next guy calls with less than that. He only had like 110. And I obviously call and roll it over. And the guy next to me had the straight. He said he turned the straight. And the other guy had a pocket 8s. So he had 8s full of 9s. I had 9s full of 10s. Or maybe he had 9-8. Regardless, I won the pot. And it was like a $750 pot. It was beautiful. I mean, gorgeous. It was like 720 or something. But it was more than 7 stacks. I know that. Well, 7 stacks of reds. So it was, oh my God, it was the moment that I've been waiting for the whole summer. You know what I mean? It was the moment I had been waiting for. So I'm feeling pretty solid off that. And I was pretty much telling myself I was going to leave soon, but I didn't want to hit and run it, whatever. So I played a few more hands. Ended up picking up ace queen on, and again, it was against this guy who straddles, who always was straddling, this guy I keep mentioning. So ended up picking up ace queen, and he raised it to 30 pre-flop on the straddle. It came around to him on the straddle. He was steaming a little bit. He raised it to 30. I called. Flop comes up 4-4-10. He bets out 45. Comes around to me. I insta-shove. Because I'm not putting him on ace-10. He doesn't have a 4. And I'm putting him on an ace-queen, ace-jack type of hand. I have ace-queen. He thinks about it for a little while. The longer he thinks about it, makes me feel that I might be good, or we might have the same hand. And I hear him say under his breath, God, he could have ace-king. So it makes me think he had ace-queen as well, which I would have been fine chopping the pot. But after probably two minutes of thinking, he ends up letting it go. So that built my stack up a little bit more. So there are a few other hands, muck blinds here. I still wasn't getting shit for cards. I still was getting more 7 deuces, jack deuces, jack trays, jack 5, jack 6s than I've ever gotten. So that sucked. But still, that one hand made up for it all. And I was able to walk with a really solid session. Bought in for 300, walked at 780. So made a good 480. Would have been 500 if I hadn't given out tips and eaten, but I'm a nice guy. So I'm really happy about that. I'm finally able to build my bankroll some, and I cannot tell you how much it makes me want to get back out on the felt. I'm definitely going back to play more tomorrow. And I know it's just one session. I get that. I know that tomorrow I could go and have a horrible session. But the fact that I finally had a good one, and I finally had one where I played to my ability, just reignited that fire so much. That fire that had kind of dwindled a little bit because I was so just annoyed from how things had been going. So I was really happy about that. And it just feels good to play good poker, you know? It feels good to have a winning session and to know that it wasn't just by luck. Obviously, that hand, it was the perfect storm of, you know, two people having good enough hands to call me down. I mean, that's not going to happen every time. But the couple times that I did, the way that I played my kings while playing them rather Sicily, it still, you know, ended up with a decent payday with, you know, how I ended up playing the 6-5 in with how I outplayed the guy with the ace queen. I felt good about all those hands. So I really do feel like I'm starting to get my groove back. I really feel that I was able to employ some of the things I was learning and listening in not only the books that I've been reading, but also the audio books that I listened to. I don't know if I mentioned it, but for my car ride back to Arizona, since my laptop broken and I haven't been able to watch TV or, you know, shows, which I don't really watch them while I'm driving for the record. I simply listen to them. I know I probably am going to get messages about how unsafe I am. But I downloaded both Barry Greenstein's Ace on the River and Phil Gordon's Little Green Book, both of the audio books. And while Barry Greenstein's voice is so incredibly monotonous that it could put a meth freak to sleep, it did have some good insight. So I was able to actually learn a couple things from that and actually put them into play tonight. So I'm pretty happy about that. And you know, I'm definitely excited to keep growing. I'm really excited to keep growing. So hopefully, you know, today, well, it's technically today because it is, wow, OMG. Um, hopefully today will continue to build and everything will turn out pretty well. I just want to have another decent session. So hopefully tomorrow, I'm not needing a crazy session. I'm just wanting another solid, decent, grinded out type of session. So we'll see what happens and wish me luck and we'll see. Hopefully it ends up good. Hopefully I'll have another weekly or another poker recap video for you guys tomorrow, detailing amazing play and tons of wins. So I'm very happy to have been able to build up my bankroll at least a little bit. And while I'm still down a ton for the summer, it's going to take a while to get back to even after the summer I've had. But I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep grinding it out, and we'll see what happens. So thank you as always for checking out my videos. I very much apologize that I've been slacking so much with these poker recap videos. I know a lot of people come to my website strictly for them, and I do apologize for that. But I promise going forward I will be playing more poker. You gotta realize that after having that many losing sessions in a row, I was in a little bit of a down swing mentally, and this kind of brought me back. So stay tuned. I promise I'll be getting more out there soon, and I will not leave you guys hanging like that. I promise. So thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for checking out my videos. Let me know what you guys think of the session. Let me know what you guys think of that crazy hand. It was pretty solid. When I got to flip over that 10-9 and found out that it was good, oh, my heart was... It's crazy. But thank you as always for checking out my videos. I am Matthew Maley. This is MatthewMaley.com. And that is my most recent poker recap video for the 1-2 No Limit Texas Hold'em session from the Planet Hollywood Poker Room. And there you have it. So as always, you can check out the rest of my videos on MatthewMaley.com. You can also check me out directly on YouTube. Search for Matthew Maley Poker, where you can like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also check me out on Facebook. I post all my videos on there. Post all my big posts, like saying I was going out to play cards, all that. So everything gets up on there. Again, search for Matthew Maley Poker. You can see everything there. You can also like my page, comment on things, all that. You can also check me out on Twitter. Follow your boy at Matthew Maley. Always tweeting up on there. And finally, I am up on Instagram. I can be followed at, again, Matthew Maley Poker. So you can see all the pictures I put up. So Until the next video, I am officially signing off, y'all. And hopefully I'll have another video for y'all tomorrow. Until then, hope everybody's having a great week. It is officially Friday, so get your party and weekend going. And I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace out, everybody. And check out the awesome weekend shirt. XO till I OD, baby. Peace, y'all.